eloquently in his address on Tuesday, we have the values and principles necessary to deal with these challenges. They are enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations. No country is unfaced by these challenges, and we can only successfully respond to them together. And this is precisely why we have the United Nations. The UN was born out of crisis to unite strength and enable nations to raise above narrow self-interest and find common ground. This is what we need to turn to again. The UN Charter sets out clear principles for a rule-based international order. But now, this rule-based order is under attack. February 2022 ushered in what we hoped we would never witness again: a new large-scale war in Europe. Russia's unprovoked attack on Ukraine has led to massive suffering, large-scale humanitarian needs, and destruction of civilian infrastructure. Russia bears sole responsibility for the war and its consequences, and Russia is responsible for bringing it to an end. Mr. President, Russia's actions are in blatant breach of the UN Charter and therefore something that concerns us all. The war is also having devastating global consequences, as we've heard so many speakers highlight this week. It has undermined multilateral cooperation when we need it the most. It has accelerated a negative economic spiral and jeopardized the 2030 agenda. We are all feeling the repercussions of the war. Energy supply is under pressure, inflation is soaring, and food insecurity has increased dramatically. Ordinary people across the globe, not least people in developing countries, are paying the price. And the war is amplifying other crises and compounding the impacts of climate change and armed conflict in other parts of the world. The Horn of Africa is faced with its worst drought in more than 4 decades. Pakistan is contending with devastating floods. More than 300 million people affected by conflicts and humanitarian crises are in need of humanitarian assistance and protection. In many armed conflicts, there is a lack of respect for international and humanitarian law, and civilians are paying the price. A few years ago, it appeared that hunger would soon be a scourge of the fast. Now, food insecurity is on the rise. And no continent is more vulnerable to the combined effects of climate change, conflicts, and growing food insecurity than Africa. Let me say this: Norway stands in solidarity with the people grappling with these interlocking crises. We have allocated more funding to humanitarian assistance and development cooperation in 2022 than ever before.